Welcome to Lento English. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories, slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
One introduction. Hong Kong is a city full of energy. It has tall buildings that touch the sky. You can find delicious food on every street. The markets are busy and full of people. Many visitors come to see its famous sights. But for the people who live in Hong Kong, the city is also known for something else. It is very expensive. In fact, it is one of the most expensive cities in the whole world. This is especially true for places to live. Imagine wanting to find a home. In Hong Kong, this can be a very big problem. The cost of an apartment, whether you want to buy it or rent it, is extremely high. For many people, a large part of their monthly money goes just to pay for their home. This makes everyday life difficult. It means less money for food, clothes, or fun activities. People often live in very small spaces because bigger places cost too much. This situation is a daily challenge for families and young people alike. They wonder how they can afford to stay in their own city. So, why is everything so expensive in Hong Kong? Why do homes cost so much money? This is a question many people ask. It is not just about one reason. Many different things work together to make prices high. Some reasons are about the land itself. Some are about how the city's government works. Others are about Hong Kong's place in the world. This book will explore these reasons. We will look at the facts simply and clearly. We will not say if something is good or bad. Instead, we will try to understand why Hong Kong is so costly. We will start by thinking about the city's small size. Then, we will learn about land and homes. After that, we will look at rules made by the government. We will also think about how Hong Kong's economy and its connections to other countries play a part. Finally, we will see how people manage to live here every day. Our goal is to give a clear picture of this important topic. Understanding these reasons can help us see why Hong Kong is a unique and challenging place to live for many people. It will explain why simply finding a place to call home is such a big part of life in this amazing city. 2. Not much land. Hong Kong is a special place with a very unique shape. It is not like many other big cities. If you look at a map, you will see it has many small islands and a large area of land connected to the mainland. But even on this larger land, there are many tall, green mountains. These mountains rise high into the sky and cover a lot of the area. Because of these mountains and the sea all around, only a small part of Hong Kong's total land can be used. Much of the land is too steep or too rocky to build on. It is beautiful, but it is not flat or open for new buildings. This means that the amount of useful land is very limited. Now, think about the number of people who live in Hong Kong. It is a very crowded place, home to more than 7 million people. Imagine all these people needing homes, shops, and places to work, but they can only use a small part of the land. About 3/4 of Hong Kong's land is natural, like national parks or undeveloped hills. So only about 1/4 of the land is available for the city to grow. This means millions of people must share a very small amount of space. This creates a big demand for land. Consider a simple idea. When something is rare, meaning there is not much of it and many people want it, its value goes up. For example, if there are only a few rare coins in the world and many collectors want them, the price for each coin will be very high. The same idea applies to land. If there is very little land available, but many people need a place to live or build a business, the price for that land will become extremely high. This is a basic rule of how prices work. In Hong Kong, this rule is very clear. Because there is so little usable land and so many people, the land itself is incredibly valuable. This lack of available land is the first and most basic reason why things in Hong Kong are so expensive. When land costs a lot, then anything built on that land also costs a lot. This includes apartments, shops, and offices. The high price of land makes everything else more expensive. It is the core reason for the high cost of living. Understanding this helps explain why finding an affordable home in Hong Kong is one of the biggest challenges for its people. The mountains and the sea, while beautiful, make the city very tight for space. 3. Homes cost a lot. The high cost of land directly affects the price of homes. Since land costs so much, homes in Hong Kong also cost a lot of money. For most people living in the city, buying a home is very difficult. Many choose to rent instead. However, the money people pay each month for their apartments, called rent, is very high. Often, a very big part of a person's monthly pay goes only to rent. Imagine earning money from your job, and more than half of it, or sometimes even 3/4, goes straight to paying for your place to live. This leaves much less money for food, clothes, transport, and other important things like going out or saving for the future. Even with such high costs, the apartments in Hong Kong are often incredibly small. People might be very surprised by how little space there is inside. These homes are much smaller than apartments or houses in many other places around the world. Sometimes, a whole family of 4 or 5 people lives in a home with only 1 or 2 rooms. There might not be much space for a proper kitchen, a comfortable living room, or even a dining table. This makes daily life feel very crowded and can be challenging. Children might not have their own room, and adults might share small spaces, making it hard to find a quiet place to study, work, or simply relax inside their tiny homes after a long day. The dream of owning a home is out of reach for many residents. For young people and families, buying their own home is very hard. Prices are so high that saving enough money for a down payment takes many, many years. Even if someone saves a lot, the monthly payments for a home loan can be too expensive. This means that many young people continue to live with their parents even after they start working. New families might struggle to find a place big enough for children. This situation can affect people's plans for their future and their ability to grow their families in the city. The high cost of housing creates a big challenge for everyone in Hong Kong. It shapes how people live and what they can do with their money. People work hard to pay for their homes, often sacrificing other things. This constant financial pressure is a common experience for many who call Hong Kong home. The link between expensive land and expensive homes is clear, making housing the biggest cost for most people living in this busy city. 4. The government's rules. The government in Hong Kong has a special way of doing things. It owns all the land. This is different from many other places where private people or companies often own land freely. Because the government owns all the land, it controls when and how land is used for building. This unique system is key to the city's economy. When new buildings are needed, the government sells the land. It sells these pieces of land to big property companies. These companies want to build new houses, shops, or offices. The government holds auctions and companies bid very high prices to win. The government sells this land for a lot of money. The prices are very, very high. Imagine a small piece of land. The government asks for a huge amount for it. This system helps the government get a lot of income. In fact, selling land is one of the biggest ways the government earns money each year. This money helps pay for many public services like schools, hospitals, and roads. However, this policy directly affects the cost of homes. When a property company buys land for a very high price, they must get that money back. So when they build new homes, they must sell or rent them for high prices too. This is how the high cost of land becomes the high cost of a home. The initial large expense for the land is passed on to the final buyer or renter. For example, if a company pays $1 billion for a piece of land, they cannot sell the new apartments built on it cheaply. They need to cover their costs, including the land price, and also make a profit. So they set apartment prices very high. This means every new home built in Hong Kong starts with a very high cost because the land itself was so expensive. This unique system of land ownership and sales is a main reason why homes are so expensive in Hong Kong. It means the cost of building starts very high from the beginning. It directly affects how much people pay for a place to live. The government's rules for land are a big part of the city's high living costs. They create a situation where land is very costly to acquire for building. 5. More reasons for high prices. Hong Kong is known around the world for its strong economy. It is a place where many businesses want to be. This is because the city has a very open and free market system. In such a system, companies can start and grow easily without too many difficult rules. This makes Hong Kong a very attractive place for global trade and finance. Many large international companies choose to open their main offices or branches here. They bring a lot of money and create many jobs. This also means that many wealthy people from different countries come to live and work in Hong Kong. When there are more big businesses and more rich people, they all need places to live, offices to work in, and things to buy. This high demand for goods and services, and especially for space, pushes prices up. It is like having many people want the same limited number of items, which naturally makes those items more expensive. Another important reason for high prices is related to Hong Kong's money. The local money is called the Hong Kong dollar. This currency has a special link to the US dollar. This means that the value of the Hong Kong dollar usually stays very close to the value of the US dollar. This special link is good for keeping the economy stable and predictable. It helps businesses and investors feel safe when they put their money in Hong Kong. However, this link can also make things more expensive for people who live there. For example, if the US dollar becomes stronger against other world currencies, then the Hong Kong dollar also becomes stronger. When the local money is strong, goods and services can cost more, especially things that are imported or priced in international markets. So, while the link helps the economy, it can sometimes add to the daily cost of living for everyone. Hong Kong is a small city and does not have many natural resources of its own. This means it cannot produce most of the things it needs for daily life. For example, it does not grow much of its own food like fruits, vegetables, or meat. It also does not have its own oil or gas to make energy. Because of this, Hong Kong must buy almost everything from other countries. It imports a lot of its food, clothes, cars, building materials, and fuel. When goods are imported, there are extra costs involved. There are costs for shipping them across the sea by large boats or flying them by planes. There are also costs for storing them in warehouses and for different taxes. All these extra costs are added to the final price that people pay when they buy these items in the shops. This constant need to import almost everything adds significantly to the high cost of living for all residents. 6. How people live day by day. High costs in Hong Kong mean people must be smart with their money every day. It is not always easy, but people find ways to manage. They adapt to the city's unique challenges. One big way people save money is with their homes. Many apartments are small. This is normal in Hong Kong. To make rent more affordable, many people choose to live with their families for a long time. Even young adults often stay with their parents. This helps them save money for the future. Also, it is very common for friends or even strangers to share an apartment. They become roommates. This way, they can divide the high cost of rent into 2 or 3 parts. Sharing a home helps many people live in good areas that would be too expensive alone. Another important way to save money is transportation. Hong Kong has a very good public transport system. It is also not expensive. People use trains, buses, and trams every day. The MTR, which is the train system, is fast and goes to many places. Buses and trams are also easy to use. Because public transport is so good, most people do not need to buy a car. Cars are very expensive in Hong Kong. Parking is also hard to find and costs a lot. So using public transport saves people a lot of money each month. Food is another cost that people manage carefully. Eating out at fancy restaurants can be very expensive. So many people choose to eat at local food places. These are often called Dai Pai Dongs or Cha Chan Tengs. They offer tasty food at much lower prices. People can find noodle shops, dim sum places, and small cafes everywhere. Buying fresh food from local markets is also a good way to save money. Cooking at home can be cheaper than eating out for every meal. Many people buy ingredients from wet markets, where food is fresh and affordable. People in Hong Kong work hard and think carefully about their spending. They are good at finding clever ways to live well even with high costs. They use shared living, efficient public transport, and local food options to make their daily lives work. This shows how adaptable people are in this busy city. They find balance between the city's high prices and their daily needs. Living day by day in Hong Kong means making smart choices about money. 7. What happens next? Everyone living in Hong Kong knows about the high cost of living. It is a big problem that people talk about often. This challenge affects many families and young people in the city. The government and many groups also know about this issue. They understand that it is important to find solutions for the future. There are ongoing discussions about what can be done. People have many different ideas. Some ideas focus on increasing the number of homes. This means building more apartments for people to live in. However, Hong Kong has very little empty land. Most of the usable land is already built on. So finding new places to build many more homes is a very difficult task. It often means building taller buildings or using land that was not used before. Other discussions are about how land is sold. As we know, the government sells land to companies. These sales bring a lot of money to the government. This money helps pay for important things like schools, hospitals, and public services. If the government changes how it sells land, it might get less money. This could affect the services it provides. So any change to this system needs careful thought and planning. Some people also talk about helping citizens directly. This could mean giving more financial help to families to pay for rent. It could also mean building more affordable housing for people with lower incomes. However, these solutions also need a lot of money and careful management. They are not simple to put into practice for such a large population. Finding an answer to the high cost of living is very difficult and complex. There is no one easy solution. Many different things cause the high prices, such as the limited land, the government's land policy, and the strong economy. Because the problem has many parts, fixing it means looking at all these parts together. This challenge remains a major issue for Hong Kong's future. It affects how people live, how businesses grow, and how the city develops. Finding ways to make Hong Kong more affordable for its people is a very important task that will continue for many years. The city will need to keep looking for new and creative ways to help its residents manage these high costs. 8. The final lesson. We have learned much about why Hong Kong is an expensive city. Our journey has shown us many important reasons. This final lesson brings all these ideas together. First, a big reason is the land. Hong Kong is a small place with many people. There is not much flat land to build on. This makes the land very valuable. When something is rare, it costs more money. Because land is so rare here, it is very expensive. This directly makes homes and other buildings costly. Second, the government's rules play a big part. The government owns all the land in Hong Kong. It sells this land to companies for very high prices. This is how the government gets a lot of its money. But it also means that building new homes is very expensive for these companies. They must pay a lot for the land, so they sell or rent the homes for high prices to get their money back. This system adds to the high cost of living for everyone. Third, Hong Kong has a very strong economy. Many big businesses from all over the world come here. Many wealthy people also choose to live and work in Hong Kong. This creates high demand for everything, from homes to services. When many people want the same things, prices go up. Also, Hong Kong's money, the Hong Kong dollar, is linked to the US dollar. This link can sometimes make things more expensive for people living in the city. Fourth, Hong Kong imports most of its goods. The city does not grow much of its own food or have many natural resources. This means that food, fuel, and many other products must come from other countries. When goods travel a long way, the cost of transport and other fees are added to the price. So people pay more for everyday items like groceries and energy. So, what is the final lesson about Hong Kong? It is a city of strong contrasts. It is a very vibrant and exciting place. It has tall buildings, busy markets, and delicious food. There are many chances for people to work and do business. It is a city full of energy and opportunity. However, it is also a very challenging place to live, especially because of the high costs. The high cost of living is a big problem for many people who live here. The government knows about this challenge, but finding a simple solution is very hard. This is because many different things make Hong Kong expensive. There is no one easy answer. Despite these challenges, the people of Hong Kong are strong and adaptable. They find ways to manage, like living in small apartments or using good public transport. Hong Kong is a unique city. Its situation shows how geography, government choices, and a strong global economy can all work together to shape a place. The story of its high costs is a key part of its identity.